Hey guys, welcome back to Educating the Modern. Now on this episode we are going to pop out the camshaft of the cast iron 10 horsepower Briggs and Stratton motor so that then we can go ahead and get the valves out and I can do a mild port and polish. There's got to be a better way than this. Very nice. So, first up, these cast iron engines are a lot different than any overhead valve setup that you guys have ever seen, unless you are working on these engines and you know them already. If you're used to working on vehicles or motorcycles, something like that, they're a whole different bird. So the typical spring compressor for the valve springs that you would normally use to take out the keepers and get the valves out and everything just isn't going to work at all. What they take is they take a really unique, it's kind of like a duck build thing that goes in like this and squeezes the springs together, right? Well, if you're a cheap ass like me and you don't want to buy that, then you're going to try and come up with some other way to do it. And that's what I'm going to do, and we'll see if it works. So, first off, take a look at it and see what I'm talking about. You see that you'd have to reach in there and pinch them together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a lever type of system, turn this puppy upside down on its top, and attach the lever system to the table somehow, and hopefully that'll work. But first things first, we have got to remove... Can you see it down there? Ah, there you go. You see a little bit. We got to remove that camshaft. We've got a rod in here that we've got to press out, and then we can remove it. There we go. Okay, I was finally able to get that pin out, and now I should be able to pull this camshaft out. Lifters, that's what they look like. I can also remove this gear for the governor. I think, nope, not quite yet. I have to knock this out if I was wanting to do that, which I don't think that I know. I definitely don't want to do. I would have to press that out. I don't want to do that. So I am going to go ahead and pull this plunger out. And this plunger I'm going to leave out because I am not going to be needing it. I will be using an electronic ignition, and so that plunger is actually for the points, which I am not using. So now let's get on those valves. Okay guys, it's been a week. You may not know that through the video, but yeah, it's a whole week later. I tried getting those valves out with just screwdriver, and I made this little lever tool that didn't quite work, and I did manage to get one of the valves out, but it was a hell of a task, and I don't recommend doing it. So if you're doing this job, if you're working on a small engine, then you need to get the proper tool for the valve spring compressor. Right here it is. This is the thing that I was telling you that looked kind of like a duckbill, right? It's a fully adjustable for a wide range of valve sizes. Pretty much all of your small engines are going to use one of these, or at least that's what I hear. So you just put it on there, get your adjustments right, crank it down, and it squeezes the valve spring, and you can remove it that way. So I'm going to show you that. It takes a while to get it set up, but it works. Okay, so finally I got the valves out. You can see. They seem to be the same exact size, intake and exhaust, which is really weird to me because I've always known your intake valve needs to be considerably larger than your exhaust valve. But anyways, and that's because it's harder to pull the gas in than it is for the piston to push the gas out. So you need more open flow for the intake. But not so on this. But they the valves are slightly different. And the exhaust valve has an X on it, and so that lets you know exhaust. I don't know if there's any other differences. Maybe there are with the way the angles on the back side are cut. Who cares? But I try and keep all of your exhaust valve springs, keepers, lifter, all of that, keep it separate from the intake side so that whenever you put it back together, it's a matching set that didn't get breaking apart. So even though it's probably not a big deal on an engine like this, you just always want to make sure that you use the same lifter that you used on the valve because they have wear patterns. You want to keep it the same. So now what I'm fixing to do is, the whole reason I was taking the valves out was so that I could do a mild cleanup, port and polish, you know, and then I'm also going to just clean up this surface right here. It's got a little bit of surface rust on it, a little bit of carbon buildup over the years, and so we're going to take care of that, and I'll show you. Goodness, that is a lot of crap in there. I was wondering if I should even be doing this, but you know, because like I'm not expecting to get any horsepower gains out of this, but man, it was so filthy. I'm so glad that I did. Goodness. I'm just kind of hoping for it to run as smooth and nice as possible so I can get a real smooth, nice low idle. And this cleanup job was just that. Most people do port and polishing because of they're trying to get more power. Hell, I just wanted a good smooth running engine. But damn, this is much better. I really wasn't expecting to go this far with this whole porting and polishing thing, but it was pretty nasty in there, and it's some pretty bad what do you call it, molding? I don't know, but anyways, it's pretty rough. And so I'm going to go ahead and step it up. I got my little sanding wheel on here, and I'm going to try and take care of the marks that are left in there from a bad molding. That's not the word I'm looking for. Shit. Anyways, casting. There we go. The casting marks are bad, and the exhaust is extremely big compared to the intake. So I'm going to try and open up the intake a little bit too, because it's pretty tight in there. And the key with porting, right now I'm not a professional or anything, but the basics is you want a straight shot flow for one, and on the exhaust side you want it polished smooth so that the exhaust flows out better, and on the intake side you want it slightly rough textured, about like a cat's tongue or something like that. That might be a little bit too much, but it creates a tumbling effect for the air and fuel mixture that's going in, which makes it mix more thoroughly, which means you have more even combustion whenever it fires off. So a little bit rough on the intake side, and polished nice and smooth as possible on the exhaust side. I want you guys to see this here, what I'm doing. You see that line right there? That's a casting line, what I'm talking about. I'm trying to get that out. I want that to be nice and smooth. And there's places like that all over these ports. Can you see in there? You can see the dark spots. That's where I was unable to sand. So you take the light spots down to the same level as the dark spots so that you can actually get in there. And when it all becomes smooth and shiny, then you've pretty much successfully gotten rid of all the casting marks that are no good. Whew. Okay, so I am done with the porting and polishing. The exhaust was extremely cavernous. I mean, it's huge inside there, so I felt no need whatsoever to do anything specific there, just a little cleanup. But the intake side, however, had a lot of, you know, as the port goes like this, right? There was a lot of going like this, and so what you do is you take that, you cut that corner, round it smooth so that you get more of, from your carburetor up into the valve, a straight shot, like this. You want that gas to flow, the fuel and air mixture to flow right straight into where the valve opening is. And so I ended up taking out a lot of material, and it's pretty much a straight shot now at this point, right up in there. Got all the curves out. There was a lot right here on the top that I had to cut into, and it's actually looked pretty good. There was a lot right here that I took out, right there. Anyways, I really opened it up a lot. I doubt it, but maybe in the end we're going to turn this 10 horsepower motor into a 10.5 horsepower.